Okay, so I'm streaming again, and this time I'm going to do something very, very different. So this time I actually got done with all of my schoolwork, and I wish I had gotten better grades on it, but there's a lot that I still don't understand, and then some things that were tricky. For example, when I was doing the area formulas for the geometric shapes, in some cases you had to put it as squared inches and then other times you didn't, and I didn't understand the difference. So I got a few questions wrong, but I did all of the assignments before they were due, and that's the best anyone can do. And now that I have completed this week's math class schoolwork, there is something that I've been having on my mind that I wanted to do, and that is learn shogi. Now, if you don't know, there is a game called shogi, which is basically Japan's most popular board game, and it's like chess but way more complicated. People think chess is hard to learn, but no, it's by far the most complicated game. I know a few things about shogi from reading about it on Wikipedia, but I don't know very much at all. Not really. So, what I did is I bought this game on Steam called Let's Learn Shogi, and I'm going to launch it for the very first time. And anybody who's watching the stream gets to share this experience with me as I learn Japanese chess. Okay, this is going to be great. So I'm going to turn off my camera now. Okay, so now you can see Streamlabs. My audio is going. No viewers yet. I just started, but this should multi-stream. See, I'm using Streamlabs desktop because it has the multi-streaming ability. It's basically like OBS Studio, but with a way of I pay $19.95 a month to be able to stream to multiple platforms at once. So I'm going to launch this. You'll see that I've never launched it yet. I installed it. There are 22 achievements for this game. And I'm going to launch it. Let's see if I can earn some achievements. Let's see if I can learn how to play the board game Shogi. So, in a way, this is an experience of learning the game of shogi, but it's also a way for anybody else learning how to play shogi who wants to learn. If this game helps me learn the rules of shogi, then maybe it'll help you. So I guess it could be considered an advertisement. But let me see here. Okay, let me make sure that I turn off. Okay, let me turn off the sounds and music because I don't want Twitch to get weird to me about copyright. Okay, cool. So there's a night and there's a day. There's language. There's interface language. There's lengua de interface. There's idioma de interfaz. There's Sprache der Benutzeroberfläche. And then whatever that means, I can't even try to read that. Okay, so let's go back to the English flag there. That's English. So looks like you see some animations of the shogi pieces, and they are irregular pentagons that are arrow pointing. There's two options. There's learn and there's play. Let's go to learn because I need to learn how to play this game. So I'm going to go through this. Let's see if I can learn how to play shogi. So the game. Okay. Let's learn shogi. The name shogi means game of generals. Shogi is a strategy board game from Japan with some similarities to Western chess. If you have played chess before, pieces like the pawn, king, and bishop will be familiar to you. However, Shogi has whole new strategic dimensions like promoting pieces and dropping captured pieces back onto the board. Before we start to play, we'll learn about how a game of Shogi is played and what each of the pieces can do. It isn't necessary to memorize everything here before starting to play, but it may help to check back every few games to reinforce your understanding. Okay, most of the Shogi terminology here will be explained in your language, but the rectangle in the bottom left corner will display the kanji and hiragana spelling of some terms which may interest you. In this learning section, you will be able to see your piece's possible movements by clicking on them. You may move your pieces, but your opponent's pieces will not move. You may let's see. You may also reset the example boards at any time. Let's begin by looking at a shogi board with all pieces deployed. Okay, this is a typical middle-sized shogi, shogi board. Shogi on a 9x9 board is by far the most common variant of shogi played today. Players deploy their pieces in 3 ranks, rows, and must deploy their pieces in these positions. So you see, that's what they look like. Oh, hey, check this out. Hey, hey, that's cool. Hey, look at that. It lets me move it. Oh, hey, this is really cool. I don't know what I'm doing. I really don't know what I'm doing, but I'm capturing all of my opponent's pieces. Hey, check this out, guys. This thing moves just like a rook. It totally moves like a rook. Okay, let's see what this does. Okay. Oh yeah, this is cool. I'm playing around with the board. I haven't even learned to play yet, but I'm having fun. I'm just destroying everything. Oh, then it resets. Okay. Anyway, I was getting carried away. But it's cool though. It's actually pretty cool how this works. Okay, so look at both sets of pieces. Each player's pieces face towards the opponent. All pieces are the same shape and color, distinguished only by their kanji. This is because players can capture and drop their opponent's pieces back onto the board. Okay, so it's basically more complicated chess, but it's like the Crazy House variant because you can actually take the opponent's piece that you capture and put them back on the board as your own pieces. So it's a lot like Crazy House if you ever played Crazy House chess, which is available on chess.com, but it's hard to find someone to play with live. Okay. The objective of shogi, as in chess, is put your opponent's king in checkmate, or sumi. Here we see both kings deployed in their starting positions. Okay, so the king, we know the king is the piece that is in the very center on the bottom, the closest to you. So, yeah, so the king, check this out, guys. The king moves exactly like the king in Western chess. Isn't that cool? Oh, you see how this is? The king here, it can't move. It can move to other squares. It can normally move to the other squares, but it can't move to a square that would be adjacent to that king. Just like kings can't move close to each other in chess. It makes perfect sense. You can't put yourself into check. So there's the king. So the king is the one that starts there in the very middle. So if you remember its position, you'll know it's there. Okay. To start a game of shogi, one player throws furigoma, which literally means shaking the pieces. A player takes 5 pawns and throws them down. If 3 or more pawns are dropped with a promoted face up, marked the red kanji, the throwing player's opponent has the first turn. Okay. If not, the throwing player has the first turn. Sounds confusing, doesn't it? On the next page, you can practice throwing furigoma. You can throw furigoma as much as you want, as we're just practicing here. Technically, they could just flip a coin. They could just flip one coin if they wanted to. That's weird. Okay. Interesting. You can shuffle. You can shuffle. Okay. Interesting. Okay. Now that Furigoma has been thrown, Sente begins the game. As in chess, players take turns to move one piece at a time. Players must make a move or drop during their turn. They cannot skip a turn. Okay, why would you skip a turn? Because it's better to move, right? If a player's king is in check, or ote, they must make a move and remove the king from check. If they can't, it's checkmate and the opponent wins. In this example, there are a few ways to escape check. Capturing your opponent's bishop, moving your king, or interposing your pawn. Okay, so now, yeah, so this is weird because how will I remember which of the pieces was the king? Okay, I think these are regular. Okay, oh, see? Oh, okay, so it does say, notice how capturing your opponent's bishop. So how would I capture my opponent's bishop here? Would I be able to do that in this case? It doesn't look like I can. But this is the only piece that lets me click. Okay, so I see. So this is the bishop by its example. The bishop attacks diagonally, and that's why the king, which is right here, can't move here or here because it's on the diagonal line. So the king can move out of check going there. Okay, that's cool. And then other pieces can move. Hey, that's cool. I captured it. Yeah, here's that amazing rook. I'm just destroying all. Yeah, okay, it starts over. Okay, so I know how the king and I kind of know how the pawn moves a little bit. A shogi match ends immediately once a player has achieved checkmate, or if a player makes an illegal move, in which case they lose. A match may end in a draw for various reasons. One reason is repetition. If the same position is repeated 4 times consecutively, the game reaches a Shogi. If both kings have advanced into their respective promotion zones and neither player can hope to mate the other or gain any further material, if this happens, the winner is decided as followed. All promoted pieces are cancelled and points for individual pieces, including those captured, are summed up. Each rook and bishop scores 5 points, and all other pieces except kings score 1 point each. A player scoring less than 24 points loses. Otherwise, the game is considered a draw. So, unlike chess, where the pieces have point values but it doesn't do anything, the point values actually make a difference in whether you win or lose or draw. Okay, that's very interesting. Okay, so let's see here. That was a general introduction to shogi. Doesn't it look interesting? The main differences between shogi and Western chess are promotions and drops. Pieces reaching a certain section of the board can promote to change their moves and capture pieces. Captured pieces can be redeployed by the capturing player. We'll learn more about these aspects in the other sections. Please read all sections in the learning zone. Reading about pieces, promotion, and drops is essential before getting started. But the other sections may make more sense once you've played a few games. Okay, so we're going to go to the pieces. Okay, each player starts the game with 9 pawns, a rook, a bishop, 2 lances, 2 knights, 2 silver generals, 2 gold generals, and a king. In this section, we'll examine each of the different shogi pieces along with their moves, Japanese name, and starting position on the board. Okay, this is awesome. So let me see here. Okay, nobody's watching my stream right now, but this is extremely interesting. So we're going to go over the different pieces. So all pieces are deployed on the game board, Shogi man, at the start of the game. Both players have identical sets, which are positioned pointing towards their opponent. Each piece has a fixed starting position in a player's first 3 ranks, or rows. Okay, so pawns. Okay, so the pawn here, it's going to be really, really hard to you see, this is hard because I'm used to the way chess pieces look, and these, Japanese letters, I don't know how to understand these. So it's going to be difficult to really understand. But let's see here. Let me learn. So the pawn, it has the big picture here. Notice that it kind of looks like the letter Y a little bit. It's kind of what it looks like. That's what it looks like to me anyway. Okay, pawns begin the game in a player's third rank. They move and capture one square directly in front of them. Unlike in chess, shogi pawns cannot move 2 squares forward on their first move, nor do they capture diagonally. So in other words, in shogi, pawns exist, but they capture the exact same way they move, and there's no such thing as moving 2 spaces, which probably means no en passant too. Okay. Each player has a single bishop, kakugi, kakugi. You can't say it. Kakugyo. It's like that one girl on TikTok. It's so funny. Okay. Okay. Deployed in the second rank. Okay. Okay. So now it's showing the bishop. So the bishops are those pieces. Yeah, the second rank. Okay. Okay, each player has a single bishop deployed in the second rank. Bishops can move diagonally in any direction as many squares as the player chooses. So those are the bishops. That's interesting. A player's rook is also deployed in the second rank. It can move in any orthogonal position, up, down, left, right. Actually, I'm going to go back here. Yeah. Ooh, that's cool. Yeah, that's cool. You see how that is? I'm learning something already here. So look at this. This piece can move diagonally, but when it moves here, it has the option to promote. I can not promote it and leave it as a regular bishop, but if I do come here and I promote it, then it gains the ability to move as either a king or a bishop. That's super cool. Okay, these pieces promote in weird ways. Okay, a player's rook is also deployed in the second rank. It can move in any orthogonal direction, up, down, left, or right. Okay, so unlike in chess, castling is not possible with the king and the rook. So there's no castling. Okay, that's nice. So what happens when a rook promotes? Oh, that's cool. See, so now the rook, so the rook is like a rook and king combined now. The way it can move, because it can move one in any of the 8 directions, but it can also move like a rook as well. So rooks and bishops get upgrades. Okay, that's really nice. Lances are deployed in the first rank on the outside edges of the board. They can only move forward, but the player can choose how far. Hey, that's cool. That's actually super cool. So they're like rooks that only move in one direction. Okay. Very interesting. So now notice that the upgraded rook, it loses its ability. Now it moves like a king, except it can't move diagonally backwards. So technically, so it kind of has a disadvantage here. because it can move forward many spaces, but once it's promoted, it can't do the multiple squares forward. Okay, that's freaky. See, I'm figuring the game out before I've completed the training because it lets me play around here. Okay. Knights, or Kama, move 2 squares forward and 1 square sideways each turn. Okay. Unlike in chess, Shogi Knights cannot make this move in a sideways or backwards direction. Okay, so they kind of move like chess knights, but they can only go forward, like up 2 and then 1 to the side. So they can go like that. And what happens when it promotes? Okay, so when a knight promotes, it loses its ability to move in its knight-like fashion. So it still has pretty good movement, just not as much as a king. Okay, freaky. Silver generals begin in the first rank. They can move a single square forward or diagonally. They cannot move sideways or straight back. Okay. So they can move to any of the 3 spaces in front of them. So they can't do, yeah. Okay. Okay, so that's interesting. So silver generals can move like this, these 3 spaces, but they can't move. Okay, so it's like a T-piece here almost. But yeah, so then they can move backwards diagonally. Very interesting. This is complicated. Okay, let's see what a promoted silver general. Okay, that's really strange because so now the silver general loses the ability to go to these 2 squares behind it, but it gains the ability to move to the side easier. Okay. Gold generals can move to any square in front of them to the side and straight back. They cannot move backwards diagonal. Okay. So actually, the gold generals kind of move in the same way that a lot of the other promoted pieces become able to move. Okay. Silver generals are often used to attack, while gold generals defend the king. This is because silver generals have more than one escape route behind them. Okay, yeah, because the silver generals, okay, yeah, they can go do the backwards 2 diagonals, whereas the gold generals, like this, they can only move backwards 1. They can't move backwards as well. So silver general and gold general. Technically, the gold general has more space it can move to, but it's mostly limited to moving forward. Okay. The king can move a single square in any direction. If a player's king could be captured in their opponent's next turn, they are obligated to make any possible move to protect it, as in chess. Okay. So yeah, move just like a chess king. That's cool. Now that we have seen all pieces and their movements, we might consider which pieces have the most strategic value. Below is a table used by Ryder Grimbergen, European Shogi champion, and Shogi computer algorithm expert. Okay. Okay, so this is an opinion of based on what they're worth. Kind of like in the chess pieces are only an opinion of their point value. But so this expert he decided that certain pieces were worth more than others. And it does seem like the promoted bishop and rook are very powerful. King's value is infinite because a game is lost if the king is checkmated. Okay. Okay. Okay, yeah. Okay, let's see here. You have studied each shogi piece along with the starting position and movement. It is also essential to study when and how each piece promotes. You can learn all about it in the promotion section. Okay, so now let's go to promotion. Okay, promotion is a concept which isn't found in other chess-like games. It's one of the aspects of shogi that make it a unique strategy game. To promote a piece, a player makes a normal move. After moving, if the piece meets the required conditions for promotion, it is flipped so that its reverse face is exposed. On the reverse of the piece, a different kanji is shown. This kanji is often written in red to easily identify the piece as promoted. In this section, we will examine the necessary conditions for a piece to promote, as well as the effect the promotion has on each piece. Okay, and I've figured out some of it already. So let's see here. But before I proceed, let's see, we have 2 watchers. That's very cool. Nobody's said anything. But yeah, I'm learning, for those who don't know, I'm learning about the different shogi pieces for Japanese chess, also called shogi. Now I'm learning how they promote. Promotion is sometimes optional, sometimes obligatory. If a player moves a piece into, within, or out of the furthest 3 ranks during their turn, they may have the option to promote that piece. The promotion zone is also marked by 2 circles drawn on the shogi board. Okay, so if someone crosses the circles of their opponent's side, then they can promote. Okay. When pawns reach the furthest 3 ranks, they can promote and gain a much wider range of movement. Promoted pawns, token, have possible moves which match those of the gold general. So yeah, so they can move like a gold general. Take care. Pawns are highly vulnerable before they promote, but they become really good when they do promote. Okay, so it's a good thing there's 9 pawns, so that if you lose some, there's still some left over. So yeah, this is freaky. Yeah, and those are my own pawns, so protect the pawns. Okay. A promoted lance also gains the same moves as a gold general when it promotes. Due to the limited movement options of the unpromoted lance, you may have to wait a while to get them into the promotion zone. Let's see here. Yeah. Yeah, so the promoted lance basically becomes like a gold general. But the lance, it can only move in one direction. But it can then promote, so that's cool. Okay. When knights reach the 3rd furthest ranks, they can become promoted knights. As with pawns and lances, promoted movements match those of the gold general. So basically, most pieces are going to become a gold general. They don't become a queen. The queen doesn't exist in shogi. But a gold general is pretty much one of the best pieces in terms of movement, but the promoted rook and bishop are better. But we'll get to that next. When a pawn or lance move to the furthest rank, or the knight moves to the 2 furthest ranks, the player is obliged to promote these pieces upon completing the movement. This is because if not for promotion, these pieces would be stuck at the far end of the board and unable to make any more moves. If you click back to the previous page, you'll see that the pieces don't have any valid moves. They must be promoted. Interesting. Ah, yeah, interesting. Okay. Yeah, so yeah, that's why they have to promote. Otherwise, they wouldn't be able to move at all. Okay. Okay, so a promoted rook gains the ability to move one square diagonally in addition to its unpromoted moves. So yeah, this is basically the super awesome rook. I mean, the rook is probably the closest to a queen you'll get, but it doesn't have the same diagonal movement as the bishop. It has king movement plus rook movement. Okay. A similar change occurs with a promoted bishop, Ryuma. It gains the ability to move one square in any orthogonal direction. Both the rook and the bishop become very powerful when promoted, being able to single-handedly trap enemy pieces. Okay. The promoted silver general, Naragen, like several other pieces, has its movement changed to those of the gold general. You may wish to think a little bit about promoting the silver general, as it loses its backwards diagonal moves on promotion. So you kind of want to choose whether you promote the silver general, because the silver general can move backwards diagonally in a certain way the gold general can't, as we learned previously. So like this unpromoted silver general can move to 5 different spaces, including these 2 diagonals behind. And this promoted silver general move is exactly like a gold general in its movement. It has a total of 7 places it can move, but it can't do these diagonals anymore. So you need to carefully plan that. Okay. Wow. The gold generals and king are unable to promote. Their movements remain the same throughout the game. So basically, the gold generals don't promote, nor does the king, but other pieces sort of become like gold generals when they promote. And they're highlighted in red because they're basically every piece is two-sided. Okay. Finally, there are some rules regarding promotion which we must take care to remember. Pieces are able to promote whether they started or finished their move in the promotion zone. A piece can move out of the promotion zone and still be able to promote. If you drop a piece into the promotion zone, it doesn't promote on the same turn. The piece must be moved into, across, or out of the promotion zone to be able to promote. Okay. Okay, if a promoted piece is captured by a player, it reverts to its unpromoted state. For example, capturing a promoted pawn would give the capturing player an unpromoted pawn to drop back into play. Don't worry about learning all of these rules immediately. When you start playing, you will be prompted when you are able to make a promotion, and obligatory promotions will be made automatically. Okay, cool. So far, I have done this one. I've done this one about the game, the overview. So I've gone through 4 sections of the training. So let's see here. There's 4 viewers who are watching me as I learn Shogi. And in case you're wondering, the game I'm playing to learn Shogi is called Let's Learn Shogi, and it's on Steam. I think it was like $5.99 or whatever. And it looks like I've earned 3 Steam achievements just for going through the training. So I need to continue with the training of Shogi before I'm able to actually play a real Shogi game. Let's see here. But wait, have I done drops? Okay, yeah, I haven't done this yet. Okay, let's see here. Okay, so let's see here. Pieces you capture are displayed on your side of the stand. Now the rook is yours. You can drop it on any vacant square. Dropping a piece completes your turn. It isn't possible to move or drop any other pieces during a turn. So this rook, I can put it like literally anywhere. So let's move it here. And now that it's on the board, let's capture that thing. Now that's cool. Nice. And then I can promote the rook. And then I can start capturing other things. That's fun. Capturing everything. Okay, that's cool. So being able to, basically any piece that I have captured, I can just put it back on the board and just continue my conquest of destroying my opponent, basically. That's nice. Okay, that's really fun. Captured pieces are called Moki-goma. Click to see where your captured pawn, lance, and knight can be dropped. Pay particular attention to the ranks rows and you may notice something. Okay, so let's try something. Let's try putting this there. So very interesting. Yeah. Okay. Pawns, lances, and knights are unable to be dropped into the furthest I can't speak. Furthest rank. For knights, the second furthest rank is also unavailable. This is because if the pieces were dropped in these ranks, they would be trapped and unable to make any further moves. It is similar to the pawns, knights, and lances obligatory promotions when they reach these ranks. We might drop any of these captured pieces into the furthest three ranks where they would effectively be in the promotion zone. However, they wouldn't promote until we move them in a later turn. Let's examine the pawn more closely. Okay, so you can't promote it when you drop it. It has to be the next turn. Okay, pawns can only be dropped in files, columns of which the player doesn't already have an unpromoted pawn. This rule was implemented because capturing and stacking several pawns would be very hard to counteract. It's a common illegal move called nifu, which literally means two pawns. So you can only put a pawn somewhere where you don't already have an unpromoted pawn. So like this pawn. Oh, okay. So see, I can't put it here because there is already pawn there. But I can put it here. I can put it here, and then it can. Yeah, I can go. Okay. Oh, that's my own piece. So yeah. So now this pawns. Okay, now the pawn can promote. And now that it's promoted, it can do that, but then the opponent would be able to capture it if they were moving. Okay. All right, that's cool. For similar reasons, it isn't possible to achieve checkmate by dropping a pawn. In Japanese shogi terminology, this illegal move is called uchi fuzumi. You may drop a pawn in front of your opponent's king, but not if it would cause checkmate. That would be far too easy after all. So you can't so you also are not allowed to put the king in check by dropping pieces. Okay. Okay. One final point to note is that if a promoted piece is captured, it reverts to its unpromoted state. If you capture these promoted knights, you'll only be able to drop unpromoted knights. Likewise, if your opponent captures a promoted pawn, they will only gain an unpromoted pawn. Okay. That includes our study of drops. Because of this ability to return capture pieces to the board, games of shogi very rarely end in a draw. In fact, the amount of games ending in a draw is only around 1%. While it's useful to keep the rules regarding drops in mind, you will only be shown valid drop locations while playing this game. Okay, relax and enjoy. So let's see. Now, I thought I had done the drops, but now I have done the drops. Cool. And I can still change between the night and day mode. That's nice. So let's go to tactics next. Let's learn some useful strategies for doing well in shogi. In Japanese, the term for shogi tactics is tessuji, which literally translates as clever move. Some shogi tactics are similar to those of Western chess, while others take advantage of shogi's particularities like drops and promotion. You may wish to revisit this section after you have already played a few games. Okay. A fork is a move that uses one piece to attack two or more of the opponent's pieces simultaneously. Since the opponent can counter only one of the threats, it is more likely that a player can capture a piece. Forks can be achieved by moving or dropping a piece. Perfect for a surprise attack. Okay, so it's just like Western chess. Okay. You have just moved your bishop into a fork. Your opponent must choose between moving their rook or their silver general to safety. What would you do? Very interesting. Oh, that's freaky. That's very freaky. Interesting. Okay, a pin with. Okay, so a pin is just like chess. Okay. Your rook is pinning your opponent's silver general. Yeah. If your opponent was silver general out of the way, you can capture the bishop. If not, their silver general would be yours. Okay. Sacrifice is a common tactic also used in chess. So, okay, you already sacrificed to gain something else. Okay, sacrificing a silver general to be able to capture a rook would be a wise move in most circumstances. Yeah, because the rooks and the bishops, you want to be able to capture them because they become the most powerful pieces. Another aspect to consider is that many pieces lose value when they are captured. If you sacrifice a promoted pawn, your opponent only gains an unpromoted pawn. They may also face limitations as to where they can drop it. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Very interesting. So you can't put them in check by dropping a pawn, but you can attack their other pieces that way. A dangling pawn. Okay. Okay. I get it. Hmm. Yeah. Very interesting. A common exchange at the start of the game is a bishop exchange, known as a kakugawari. The piece exchange is initiated by exposing the bishop with a pawn movement. It's a common tactic used by players who have lost free going and wish to recover the initiative. Okay. An edge attack is attack on the first or ninth tiles or columns. In Japanese, it is known as hashizimi. This is a common tactic because there is a limit on the number of pieces that can effectively protect the edges of the board. Let's review an example case. A typical case of an edge attack is dropping a pawn behind an opponent's lance and threatening to promote it once the lance has been lured forward. You may need to wait until your opponent's knight has moved in this case. Okay. In shogi, castles are defensive piece formations. They are known as kakoi in Japanese. Shogi castles are structures that require making multiple individual moves with more than one piece. Castles are defensive formations that are made up of multiple pieces with the prime purpose of protecting the king. Don't confuse shogi castles with the castling move in chess. Usually the pieces involved in constructing castles are gold generals, silver generals, and pawns. Castles also typically require moving the king from the starting position. There are many different types of castle, but we'll take a look at a couple of the most common. For the purpose of these examples, we will remove all pieces which are not part of the castle and put them on the side stand as if they were captured. Okay, cool. This is a fortress, Yagura Castle Formation, a gold fortress in particular. We'll discuss how it works on the next page as there's a lot to examine. You may wish to click back to this page a few times as you read. Man, that is a very interesting formation. But I don't know what the pieces are because they're written in Japanese characters. Okay, that's called the Gold Fortress. This is a Mino castle. It is a popular formation for beginners, but even shogi professionals continue to use it. On the next page, we'll examine how it works. Okay. The Mino castle, like the Gold Fortress, uses the generals and pawns. Both castle formations leave the ranging pieces, rook, knight, and lance, free to attack the enemy. Comparing Mino to the Gold Fortress, we notice that the king is still placed in a safe position, while the three generals work well to back each other up. Because the Mino castle can be built quickly, in just a few moves, it is highly effective. Conversely, if your opponent builds a Mino castle in the opening turns of the game, they can be very hard to beat. Okay. Okay. Yeah, that is a lot of information. Okay, so what is League? When you learn the basics, you may feel ready to join a Shogi League. There are 4 leagues to choose from, each containing computer opponents of varying difficulty. You'll play each opponent once in a round-robin style. A victor earns 3 points, while a draw earns 2, and a loss earns 1. If you don't want to dive into a league just yet, play a few practice games. Please note that if you finish a league match early, it will count as a loss. The Sendai, Osaka, Tokyo, and Sapporo leagues all feature AI opponents. When you're ready, why not try joining an online community and going up against human players? I recommend 81 Dojo, which has players from all over the world. Best of luck in the Shogi leagues. Okay, handicap. When a match takes place between two shogi players of different abilities, they may play a handicap match, Koma Ochisen. The player offering the handicap typically starts with fewer pieces, while their non-handicapped opponent plays with a full set. To compensate, the handicapped player has the first move. Handicap matches are not uncommon in shogi tournaments to balance matches between opponents of different skill levels. Interesting. Okay. First handicap is that a player may offer their opponent's first move without throwing for a goma. This is going to be lightest handicap a player may offer. So it only gives their opponent the advantage of having the first move. Okay. The lance handicap simply removes the player's left-hand lance from the game. Note that your lance has been completely removed from play. Neither you nor your opponent can use it at any point in this match. Okay. The bishop handicap, Kaku Ochi, removes a player's only bishop from play. This is a more significant handicap as bishops are considered to have a higher value than most other pieces. Okay. Yep. So basically, the different handicaps are where you are lacking certain pieces. The rook lance handicaps are player a rook as well as their left hand lance. Okay. Okay, freaky. Wow, no rook or bishop. Yeah, so let's see here. That's weird. Four-piece handicap removes a player's rook, bishop, and both lances. The six-piece handicap, okay, is the most severe handicap among those typically used in competitive play. A player loses both lances, both knights, their rook, and their bishop. Handicaps higher than six pieces are normally only used for training purposes. Okay, interesting. If you play in the support league, you would play all your matches with the handicap. Your first match, you'll only have the Sente handicap, but you will have the six-piece handicap by the time your final match in the league. Play matches with handicaps to become stronger player. Okay, that's cool. Now training. Okay, so I get to do, so there's different, so there's easy, there's medium. Okay, let's do these trainings. So what does this do? Oh, okay, so I captured their thing and then they captured my thing. And what is okay. Oh wait, that's their piece. Okay, but this is okay, this is my piece here. Okay, that's cool. Wait. Oh, that's right. That's their king. Oh my god. So that means I don't have any pieces. Okay. So yeah. So I have to pay attention. So this is my first training puzzle. Okay. So the pieces pointing upward are my pieces, whereas the pieces pointing. Okay. So yeah. So this shows. Okay. So this shows when I highlight. So even though I can't read the characters, I can still hover over them with the mouse and I can see how they can move. So in other words, this thing can move direct, it can move here. So it's actually not wise. And see, so in other words, it's not good for me to move here or here, and it's not safe to capture this because then I could be captured by this thing or that thing. And this is the king, I believe. And then this is something else. I think I'm not sure what that is entirely. And that's the problem. I wish I could read these. I wish I could knew how to read the Japanese characters. I wonder if there's a way to configure the settings so that I can just view them as letters. Okay, so what should I do in a case like this? So let me just try moving here and seeing what the opponent does. See, it captures my piece. And yeah, same here. Oh, yep. Okay. So let's see. What is the right thing to do here? See, this thing is like, I think this might actually be a rook because otherwise how would it move like that? Oh, but that thing is either a lance or it's a lance. Oh man, yeah. See, I'm learning how to play shogi. This is complicated. Okay, so let me. Okay, what's a smart move to do here? What would be a smart move? Okay, if I go here, I should be safe because that thing can only move forward. Okay. Okay, let me Okay, I'm going to move this here. Okay, see the king. Oh, yeah, I lose. Yeah, see, I lost that. Okay, so let's see here. So this thing can only move forward, and this thing can capture multiple ways. So it actually, this thing and this thing have the same movement. But if I move this here, oh, it's checkmate. See, because this thing, the king can't escape. So I completed it because it can't escape because this piece guards this piece, and the king can't go here because of this. So that's my first checkmate, a super easy puzzle. Okay, so now what do I got here? So this, oh wait, oh, I did not mean to move. Oh, let me restart. So it's a good thing I'm getting started with these puzzles here. Okay, so here we have this thing only can go there. This thing can move in multiple directions. This largest piece is most likely the king. And I have, yeah, so I have some very interesting pieces here. But I have to be very careful here because this piece can't capture what's here, but I need to find a way. See, if I go here, then what happens? Yeah, I can promote it, but then I think this piece can, yep, see, it can capture it. So let's restart here. So how do I deal with this? Okay, so but this one here, wait a minute. This one, what if that goes there? Oh, it's checkmate. Yeah, it's the same situation. Okay, that's a checkmate. All right. So now okay, so here my opponent only has one piece, which it's bigger, so I think that's their king. It has like this weird symbol there too. So as long as I find some way to checkmate the king, okay, so yeah, let's see if I can promote, if I can capture this king. See, as long as my pieces are defending each other, they're kind of hard to stop. So I'm trying to drive the king into the corner over here. That's what I'm kind of trying to do. Okay, so this piece can go any of these places. This one can go here. This one can go here. So the king doesn't really have a way of escaping past these four squares. Okay, I'm already starting to understand this game. So now the king kind of has to go. So yeah, so the king can move like that. So now if I close in here, the king is really running out of its options. So, and this piece can protect things. So let's move this here. All right, now checkmate. Yes, I did it. I have solved a few puzzles. Okay, so finish. Okay, so I've solved a few of the puzzles. I'm starting to learn the game of Shogi. So let's see here. Let's see how we are. Got 3 viewers and no way. I have spent an hour just trying to learn the rules of Shogi. Okay, so here's the thing that's important, people. I'm learning Shogi, which is Japanese chess. I'm trying to learn how each piece moves and what the rules are for its promotion and drops. And technically, I didn't even use any drops in those puzzles, but in a normal game, you actually have drops. So let's see. Now, since I'm on Let's Learn Shogi, before I end the stream, I should at least try to play a game. I should try to play a game of Shogi. Can I win my first official Shogi game in my entire life? Maybe. And just because I'm good at chess doesn't mean I'm going to be good at Shogi, because it's very different. It has some similarities like checkmate, but it has a lot of differences too. Okay, so let's try this. I'm going to turn off my camera again. So now, let's play. Okay, so choose a league or play a practice match. I don't really know the different, okay, hard opponents handicap. Very easy opponents. Let me just do a practice match. Okay, so let's do a very easy match because I'm totally new. Okay, very easy. Yeah, you can choose your handicap. So very easy, no handicap. Let's do the free Goma. Let's see who starts the game. This is my first ever Shogi game. Okay, Sente, you move first. So here, I may not be able to really read the pieces, but I remember some basics. So you see the way this can move multiple spaces to the side? Clearly, this thing here is the rook. So that's nice. Clearly it's the rook. Whereas this has got to be the bishop. So it's a little bit tricky here. For example, I'm going to move my pawn here. And what will the opponent do? So the opponent has done that. So now, see, my bishop could come here. But if I do that, then this piece here, I think that, okay, silver generals, gold generals. Okay, so silver generals, gold generals. I'm trying to remember the different pieces. These are the lances. These are the knights. Okay, yeah, that's kind of freaky. I'm going to try moving the knight, and the knight doesn't have the same powerful movement that it does in standard chess, but it can still move in a funny shape. Okay, so here, this pawn, because I know these pieces, see, here's what I've learned. This is the pawn. The pawn is a thing that has a thing that kind of looks like the letter Y at the top, and then it has a funny stick man. It has a funny, like, stick man type of thing, or whatever that is. So that's the pawn. So, see, this knight is in danger from this pawn. So if it stays here, it'll just be captured by the pawn. However, it can capture here or here. So, okay. Oh, look at this. See, because it shows me like the possible directions these things can move into. So here is the king. Here's a gold general. Yeah, there's a gold general. Here's a silver general. So if my knight goes to here and captures this silver general can capture my knight. However, this is a rook and this is a pawn, meaning that if my knight goes here, it should not be able to be captured. Oh, do I want to promote it? Yeah, I want to promote my knight. Why not? I mean, why not? Okay, so now let's see here. Now this piece gains the ability. It gains the ability to move like a gold general. So yeah, it gains gold general like. I'm already learning the pieces. I'm smarter than I thought. Yeah, so I've got lance, bishop, the knight, which was here that I'm moving. Yeah, okay, so here, this is the rook. It would actually be very smart. Yeah, see, here's the thing. If my knight goes here, because it's gonna, if I go here, then these two pieces can capture it. If I capture the rook, it'll be captured. If I capture the pawn, it'll be captured. I can't capture this pawn, but the promoted knight can now move here. So let's capture the opponent's rook. Okay, this is going good, guys. Wait a minute. Why didn't they did not capture? Okay, that's right. I'm playing against very easy artificial intelligence. Okay, this is great. Yeah. So now, now since they could have captured my promoted knight, but they didn't do it. So now, what do I want to do? Okay, that the lance and the knight and the silver general can't capture the side. So in other words, if I come here, then these guys can't capture me. But I can still capture this lance. So my promoted knight is already starting to capture all kinds of things. So now what can I do? There's some pawns here that could be captured, and I still have this bishop. Yeah, so I have this bishop here that can capture some things. But why don't I try something more interesting? Okay, let me see. Oh, but which piece is the rook? Oh, that's right. I didn't see which piece is the rook. So I don't, okay, so I didn't, oh, wait a minute. Okay, wait. So I know that this is okay, so this is a rook. I'm pretty sure. And I'm trying to see how this is because the design on this piece, which is my rook, looks a lot like this here. So what happens? Can I move the rook here? I'm going to give it a shot. I'm going to try it. I just moved a rook here and I put the king in check. Okay, so the king didn't move. Instead, this silver general, it went there to block the check. Okay, I'm understanding a little bit of shogi now. So let's see here. So now what do I want to do? Well, you know what it's time to start doing? Let's start by let's start moving this pawn over here. Let's attack this side. Okay, now this thing here. Oh, okay. I see how it is. This gold general is attacking my, yeah, it's totally attacking my, but I don't want it to capture it yet. I'm going to protect that. Okay, yeah. We don't want that to happen. So now, see, this lance is directly behind. So the lance is behind this pawn. So let's move this pawn. This pawn can capture my pawn, but it chose not to do so. Okay, so now I will capture their pawn. And, well, but they did not. Okay, that's freaky. Alright, so now I'm going to capture this thing. So yeah, this thing can't really capture me here. So let me try something. I'm going to start. Okay, the lance. Okay, so this is the lance. The lance is this funny looking thing that has a little T-shaped thing, the cross-shaped thing. Okay, so let's try. I'm gonna put that there. So now this thing here is next to this. What happens if I capture that there and I have just promoted? Okay, so now it has a gold general movement, but now the king is no longer in check. So that's the only downside. Let me move this pawn forward and see what becomes of it. See, I don't really know what I'm doing here. Oh, I have the option to promote. Okay, let's promote it. Let's see what happens. Oh, okay. Now here's the opponent's bishop, and there's their lance. See, if I capture their bishop, I can be captured back. But if I capture with the wait, they could have captured. This is their knight. They could have captured my piece, but they did not. Okay, so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to just capture their lance. And now that since my lance is promoted, I can use it to capture bishop. And I'm just like capturing all their stuff. Wait a minute. I'm going to capture their pawn. Okay. Yeah, I'm just totally capturing all of my opponent's pieces. That's what I'm doing. I think I'm winning, guys. I think I'm winning my first ever Shogi game. Because the artificial intelligence is not making good moves. So let's see here. Now what can I do here? Now the bishop, okay, so the bishop has these two T-shaped things. So let's try. Let me try wait. Yeah, this is freaky. Okay. Let me move this backwards. Okay, so now here's the opponent's king. See, this thing here has the ability to move like just crazy here. And whereas this, so now let's move the bishop. The bishop has the two T's. Let's move the bishop right here in line. Okay, yeah, so now the king is in check. So they had to put, that's what they did. They had to put this silver general there. Okay, so this thing, okay, let's capture that. Then let's promote it. Then what happens? Okay, see, yeah, the king couldn't capture it. Okay, now this thing can't capture anything, unfortunately. So yeah, there's not really a good way to defend this, but I can, hey, I know what I can do. I can drop, I can't do that. It's not gonna let me drop that there. Okay, so how about, okay, I know what I'm gonna do. I'm going to move that there, and I'm gonna promote the lance. So now it should see now it should defend that piece, but this piece does not defend this. Okay, guys, this is just wild, man. Okay, so now the this promoted bishop can come and it can, oh, I can capture that. Okay, yeah, it can capture that because it's diagonally in line. So now we have this thing here. Oh, I haven't even moved my rook yet. That's wild, man. Okay, so let's move this thing closer to the king. Yeah, let's try that. Checkmate. Yes, I got it. I checkmated the king. I won my first practice game. Oh man, this is cool, guys. This is actually cool. So I've made some progress tonight. I have actually, I I won my first ever shogi game, and I have gone through all of the trainings required to get started playing Shogi. So I highly recommend Let's Learn Shogi because I'm now learning Shogi for the first time in my life. This is actually very exciting to be learning the Japanese chess style game known as Shogi. It's a lot more complicated than standard Western chess. And people say chess is complicated, which it's really not. I'm actually pretty good at chess, but now Shogi really is confusing because it's so different than what I'm used to. So this has been fun. I'm going to end the stream now, but now I have learned a little bit about the game of Shogi.